Good afternoon, friends. Stephen Ben-Nun with Israeli News Live on our Patreon channel, and I wanted to share some information with you. Part of our doing this disclosure on extraterrestrials, and of course, things that the secret space program we have that goes on that a lot of people are not aware of. Before we get into the moons of Jupiter and other places like that, let me real quick pull up the TRB spacecraft that we have, and something that they don't want anybody knowing about that we have, but and I will be correcting one of my statements where I said there were 4 that we have operational. It's actually 3 that we're full-time operational on the TRB3 is what we normally you hear about these. Let me just pull up images and see what we come up with on there. So I don't know which ones are actually considered real images when we're looking at some of these that they have out there. That would be pretty close to what it would look like right there. And they're calling these, of course, UFOs, but they're actually made by our government. We have 20 of these operational, 3 of those of which are operational full-time. 1/4 one, this is why I said 4 the other day, it is an organic spacecraft. This is where, and I'll just see if we can put on there, this is where they have a crystal, and then when the pilot actually goes to sit in what we would say would be the driver's seat, this black goo-like substance comes out of that crystal and forms over their hands, up their arms there. And what happens as a result of that, they become organically one with the spacecraft itself. So that's why I kind of show this image right here. And then they're able to fly it to all different locations. From what I have been, it's been disclosed to me, is that we have flown this thing to the pilot that they use for these missions. There has actually flown it to pretty much every base that we have in our solar system. I am aware of bases on one of the moons around Jupiter. We also are on the moon of what we call Phobos moon, which is around Mars. We have a base on Mars as well. We have a base on Venus. There is also, let's see, what is it? There is some place way out near Pluto where there's another base as well. All of this, from what I understand, is through the help of the fallen angels. If you go back biblically and we look at what the Bible says that they were teaching man, of course, we only see the narrative of, how to use the iron, how to use different metals, things like that. But they were also teaching the roots and the healings and things like that. But we never really think about the fact that these fallen angels could really be teaching some very sinister types of things, like in this case here, being able to traverse the universe. A lot of people don't realize that, and so it blows my mind away just hearing about it. I did ask though, because I'm like, gosh, how in the world do we have so many bases? I mean, we're talking about Mars, we're talking about our moon, we're talking about Phobos, the moon around Mars, we're talking about and I don't know which moon it is, because I think there's like 26 moons that go around Jupiter. But we actually, somewhere along there is actually a moon that we have a base on as well. We have a base on Venus, which is also where the Venetians live at. Generally, the bases are within the planets, inside some cave or caverns, things like this. One reason why you don't see things on the surface. And, but this, what I have been, what's been explained to me is that as early as the 1960s, we began to develop off-planet bases. Now, oddly enough, when I was on with or speaking with Sean, I won't speak about Sean's last name. He is a captain in the Marine Corps. His father was tasked to go work, quote unquote, when he was in the military, off planet. Off planet. I'm not sure. I want to say that was around 1969. I could be wrong on the date, but he was tasked to do it. He did not take the job. But Sean was very much aware of many of the things that I already knew about. So that was just more of a confirmation for me about the things that are going on. So a lot of things are happening that they're going to, I should say this too, I know that they're going to be releasing more information publicly. One of the ones that Mike from around the world mentioned, and so I want to kind of bring this up. He mentioned that they're going to show you maps off the coast of like California of alien bases, and it's supposed to be pretty much like quote unquote shocking. I'm just going to kind of quickly just show you just where they've showed some imagery before online, things like that. They consider this like an ancient alien base underwater, and maybe it is. I don't know the answer to that. I just picked one randomly here. But I do know, though, that most of the bases, and I was even told that if they show it, you really won't get that it's a base unless you use a little bit of imagination. But I was told, like in a case like this here, you've got this underwater shelf, so to speak, and in trenches, things like that. These are where those bases are, and I've been told they're very obscure, very difficult to see, and of course what they're going to show you is going to be very hard to see. I'm just looking to see if we got any up here that where other people have shown things like this. They said, so you really won't be able to tell a whole lot from the images that they're going to disclose. But interestingly enough, though, as some have brought out, I think even Mike was saying that they're saying that the ETs are not from outer space. That is Russian information. Russia has been doing disclosures as well. They've given it to us here, and so therefore we're aware of what Russia is saying, but it is not really the case. The ETs do come from other reaches of the universe as well, I should say. And by the way, note of curiosity. I see here and I look at the surface of the conflicts that we are having, whether it be with China or Russia or whatever the case may be, but yet on the level of space, we cooperate with China and Russia. We share bases. We actually have, we do get into confrontations from time to time, especially with China, because China will want an entire moon or something where we're wanting to build a base as well. And it becomes a conflict as a result of that. So I know these things are strange to even bring up or to say, but one thing I will tell you, though, is when I look at the Bible and I look at what's coming, I can't help but believe that we are about to see some very, very sinister things that are going to take place there. Very sinister things. So, and especially when we're looking at the 200,000 horsemen that are coming up out of the book of Revelation, is this a invasion of sorts that are going on? I don't know the answer to that. So, according to what I'm reading right here, we're supposedly looking at the California coastline. I clicked on it because when I looked at it, I thought, gosh, it looks like Putin's face, right? There's the nose, the mouth, because it's kind of out of that little sunken chin, the lips there, the the neck. There's even the eye right there, right? It's like nuts, right? It's really crazy. So anyway, I just want to share some of those thoughts there with you guys. Blessings to you. Please keep our family in prayer. We certainly could use your prayers. And oh, by the way, Hal Turner is also reporting that Israel is doing massive drill, well over 100 aircraft involved in a possible strike on Iran. Just a matter of time. Unfortunately, just a matter of time. Anyway, blessings to you. You guys have a great afternoon.